What's up everybody, Byron here from ETA. This is just going to be a quick little video. This is actually a fan request, so going out to you guys. This is how to clean a pistol. The pistol I have in front of me happens to be 1911, but the process is basically the same, whether you have a Glock or whatever. You may have more pieces or you may have less pieces to take apart than this, but this is what I have, so this is what I got. So the first thing you're going to want to do, this is the quickest part, just take a little microfiber, wipe down your recoil spring, and make sure you give it a good looky-loo. Make sure there's no additional wear and tear, nothing out of place on it. Next, you're going to want to take a look at your grip. You're going to want to check it, give it a nice little wipe down, remove any extra oil or anything that could be in there. We're going to be moving back to this part a little bit later, but just give it a nice good wipe down. This is a window tint applicator. You can use a small credit card or whatever else you would like. Basically, you just take a little microfiber and you take your straight edge and you just run it right through the frame rails. Especially if this is a carry gun, you're going to want to do this semi-regularly because you're going to want to make sure that there's no extra lint and crud and gunk built up in there. Make sure your feed ramp is clean, good to go. We'll come back to this one in just a little bit. Next, you're going to do the same for the slide. So as you can see, I've built up a little bit of carbon in there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a little solvent. You're going to need some type of a cleaning solvent of some sort. I happen to really like the Cleansol Field and Range patch kits. You can use whatever you would happen to like, but I'm going to throw a little description down in the, throw a link in the description for the Cleansol stuff. Works pretty good. I don't really let anything I carry get too dirty anyway, but you've got these little recesses, and just being able to use something like the window tint slider works beautifully for getting into those little cracks and crevices. I've shown this trick to a few people and they've all had their mind blown. I'm telling you, like, this is the greatest thing ever. Get right in there, clean out your frame rails. That's it, you're done. I just use that same patch and go ahead and wipe down everything. Don't forget the breech face. Always want to get all that gunk out of there too. In this particular pistol, I get stuff that builds up in there over time, especially if you're using, you know, the cheapest ammo you can find, like I am right now for practice. Do the same thing, make sure you get all the carbon out. This will also help you more easily remove the oil and such. I'm not here to tell you what oil to use or to not use. Take a nylon brush, make sure you get into your where your barrel locks up. Get a nice little scrubby scrub, and you can use that same dirty patch. Just kind of give it a nice scrub. I've generally had good luck with nylon patches doing it this way. You can use a brass one if you prefer. You want to break it up, get it out of there the best you can, give it a nice little wipe out, and that's it. For the breech face, same thing. Use a nylon brush. If it's really bad, this one has got a little gunk built up, I'm just going to lightly hit it with a brass brush. Get that stuff broken up nice and quick, and just wipe it out. That's why I like the Cleansol stuff. It makes pretty quick work out of it. Everybody, you know, some people like the hoppies, some people like the different types of chemicals. I happen to like the Cleansol, and it's also pretty cheap. Here we go. That's all she wrote. Nice and pretty, clean. I'm trying to line this up in the camera here. I got about a 1-inch window, and you guys are about 5 feet away from me. So take a microfiber, give it a nice wipe down to remove any and all of that solvent that might still be in there. Stuff smells fantastic too, by the way. But you're gonna wanna make sure you use something like this mat, especially if you're married. This will keep the wife happy, trust me. Won't tear up your furniture. If you're single, go for it. Nobody to tell you what you can and can't do. But you're gonna use the same technique. Just use that straight edge. Even if you got an old credit card or library card or something like that. Get that all wiped out. Now for this, I'm just going to keep using the same patch for this, just to give it a little wipe down on the barrel plug, remove anything that might be there. And do the same thing with the barrel bushing. Wipe out the inside of it, wipe out the outside of it. Come back with the microfiber, same thing, just give it a nice wipe down, make sure there's no carbon, dirt, belly button, lint, whatever. Get all that crud out of there. A clean gun is a happy gun, and a happy gun will do what you need it to do. Wipe down the outside of the barrel. Now, on a 1911 specifically, you're going to want to get under the barrel support there, on the bottom of it, and then you've got the little barrel hood extension. You're just going to make sure you wipe that down. They're usually not too bad, but just a nice little quick wipe down. and that's all she wrote. You're going to grab your nylon bore brush, and I like to put my rag over the end of the barrel just in case there's any carbon or crud that comes out. But give it a couple swipes. Now you're going to grab a clean patch with solvent. If you happen to have a bore snake in your caliber, then feel free by all means. Just give it a couple of good passes. Get the gunk out. That's all it takes. I like to come back both ways because sometimes it will get into the lands and the grooves, and you'll get it loose going this way, and you'll remove it that way. And grab our nylon brush. Now that we've got the solvent through it, break up anything else that might be in there. Grab one more clean patch, and that should do it. If you don't clean yours very frequently, you may go through more than 2 to 3 patches. I try to keep up on mine. Make sure you get into the chamber. Get a nice little swirl, work it back and forth, come back through this way, and that's all she wrote. That's nice and clean. Now take that patch that you just got done using, because it's still wet with solvent, go around the outside of the barrel, give everything a nice wipe. Don't forget your barrel lug. Sometimes you'll get some crud built up in there. Flip your barrel link out of the way. Don't forget to clean your crown, if applicable. And that's it. Now just kind of give it a little wipe down. Move all of that solvent. And congratulations, that's the hardest part of cleaning a pistol. I like to use the microfibers. I seem to have better luck with them, and they seem to last quite a bit longer. Put that guy over there. Wipe off all your solvent, and now it's time to start adding the lube. Giggity. Before you do, just grab that one of your cleanest solvent-soaked patch, and just give your frame a good wipe down. This is a great time to inspect it, make sure nothing's coming loose, make sure your ejector block is still in there and not moving. All that weird stuff that goes wrong with 1911s. There you go. That's it. Using the dry microfiber, give it a nice wipe down, and it doesn't take a whole lot. Now obviously this is not a detailed cleaning. This is just a quick field strip and clean. So for you guys that are posted out on the block, give yourself at least 5 to 10 minutes before starting your next shift. Can't have the ops sliding on you if you got a dirty gat, you know what I'm saying? Take the barrel. Actually, this is probably the second most critical part. Don't forget your oil. How much oil to use and where to use will vary on every firearm and every person's taste. What I do for mine, you may not like for yours. I just put a couple drops on all the critical parts, and we're just going to let that soak. Put a couple drops here. Doesn't take a whole lot. If you have a Glock, it takes probably a lot less, but everybody has their own standards. Some of you guys are probably out there crying, telling me that I used way too much oil. I don't really care. This is my gun, not yours. If you've never seen it before, this is how a 1911 goes back together. Again, your gun will probably go together in a slightly different way. Put a couple drops here on your frame rails, one right here on your disconnector, and a couple tiny, tiny little drops right there on your ejector. Use your finger, just smush it around a little bit. So slide your barrel in, get your barrel bushing in. Don't forget your recoil spring and guide rod. Just kind of goes in there. Make sure you flip your link down so you can spear it. I'm just gonna move it on in. Again, if you have something like a Glock, it goes together quite a bit easier, but this one's not too difficult. That's all she wrote. Now you do a function check. There you go. Grip safety. Pull the trigger. It should not go. Press the grip safety. She goes. Set. She goes. So once your function check is complete, wipe down any excess oil that has moved out. I like to cycle the slide, give it a little work in, make sure everything is perfect. If you have a 1911, I'll give you a little ASMR here. Yeah. Yeah. It should, when properly lubricated and broken in, should feel pretty much like it's on ball bearings. That's how you know you've done it right. Bye. To the viewers that requested it, I wanted to say thank you guys for giving me the suggestion. You guys all work with my wife, and I will not say the name of the company, but you know who you are. Y'all have a great night.